Hello students, myself Professor Uday Teke. Today I am going to discuss our chapter number 5, Advanced Accounting, chapter number 5, that is GST, that means Goods and Service Tax. So, GST is the biggest reform for indirect taxes in India in the post-independence period. It is simplified indirect taxation, reduced the tax complexities, removed the cascading effect, and led to one nation and one tax regime in India. Experts believe that GST will have a huge positive impact on business and change the way the economy functions. In this chapter, we shall have a brief introduction on new GST regime introduced in India since July 2017. Before we are introduced the system of GST in India, let us know the concept of direct and indirect taxes. So, the concept of direct and indirect taxes. A tax may be defined as a fee charged by government on a product, income, or an activity. It is a pecuniary burden laid upon individuals or property owners to support the government, a payment exacted by legislative authority. A tax is not a voluntary payment or donation, but an enforced contribution exacted pursuant to legislative authority. Taxes are broadly classified into direct and indirect taxes. So, direct taxes. If a tax is levied directly on or wealth an individual or an organization, it is called direct tax. A direct tax is a kind of charge which is imposed directly on the taxpayer and paid directly to the government by the persons, that is juristic or natural, on whom it is imposed. An incidence of direct tax cannot be shifted by the taxpayer to someone else. The burden of such tax is borne by the payer of tax himself. An important direct tax imposed in India is income tax. Then second tax is indirect tax. If tax is levied on the price of goods or services, then it is indirect tax. The person paying the indirect tax passes on the incidence of tax to some other person. He collects the tax from his customer on sale of goods and services and remits it to the government. The ultimate burden of such tax falls on the final consumer of such goods and services. If the taxpayer, such as manufacturer or provider of services or seller of goods, is just a conduit, and at every stage the tax incidence is passed on till it finally reaches the consumer, who really bears the brunt of it. Such tax is indirect tax. An indirect tax is one that can be shifted by the taxpayer to someone else. Indirect taxes are also called consumption taxes. They are regressive in nature because they are not based on the principle of ability to pay. All the consumers, including the economically challenged, bear the brunt of indirect taxes equally. Indirect taxes are levied on consumption, expenditure, privilege, or a right, but not on income or property. Hitherto, a number of indirect taxes were levied in India, namely excise duty, custom duty, service tax, central sales tax, that is CEST, value added tax, that is VAT, entry tax, purchase tax, entertainment tax, tax on lottery, betting and gambling, luxury tax, tax on advertisement, etc. However, indirect taxation in India has witnessed a paradigm shift on July 1, 2017 with the introduction of unified indirect tax regime, wherein a large number of central and state indirect taxes have been subsumed into a single tax, that is goods and services tax. The introduction of GST is a very significant step in the field of indirect tax reforms in India. So, evolution of GST in India. France was the first country to implement GST in the year 1954. Within 62 years of its advent, about 160 countries across the world have adopted GST because this tax has the capacity to raise revenue in most transparent and natural manner. Kelkar Task Force 2004. Generally, the Finance Ministry of Government of India set up a task force under the chairmanship of Mr. Vijay Kelkar in 2004 on the implementation of fiscal responsibility and budget management. It made recommendations to bring about a radical transformation of the Indian tax system. It disagreed with the existing approach of government to reduce government expenditure to achieve the fiscal consolidation. It has advised to go for a revenue-led approach which focuses on enhancing the revenues instead of compressing the expenditure. It went further to suggest that the government should enhance capital expenditure in order to counterbalance the contraction effects of fiscal consolidation. The goods and service tax is an outcome of recommendations of the task force under the chairmanship of Mr. Vijay Kelkar. In India, the draft of goods and services tax was presented in the Parliament in August 2009. Subsequently, the Union Finance Minister Sri P. Chidambaram announced that GST would be introduced from April 1st, 2010. That means 1st April 2010. Since then, GST missed several deadlines and continued to be shrouded by the clouds of uncertainty. The talks of issuing the GST, however, gained momentum in the year 2014 when the NDA government tabled the constitution that is 122nd Amendment Bill 2014 on GST in the Parliament on 19th December 2014. The Lok Sabha passed the bill on 6th May 2015 and Rajya Sabha on 3rd August 2016. Subsequent to ratification of the bill by more than 50% of the state's constitution, that is 122 Amendment Bill 2014 received the assent of the President on 8th September 2016 and become Constitution, that is 101st Amendment Act 2016 was paved the way for introduction of GST in India. In the following year, on 27th March 2017, the Central GST Legislation, Central Goods and Services Tax Bill 2017 integrates Goods and Service Tax Bill 2017, Union Territory Goods and Service Tax Bill 2017 and Goods and Service Tax Compensation to States Bill 2017 were introduced in Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha passed these bills on 29th March 2017 and with the receipt of President's assent on 12th April 2017, the bill were enacted. State GST laws. The enactment of Central Act was followed by the enactment of state GST laws by various state legislatures. Telangana, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Punjab, Goa and Bihar were among the first ones to pass their respective state GST laws. GST is a path-breaking indirect tax reform which will create a common national market. GST has subsumed multiple indirect taxes like excise duty, service tax, VAT, CST, luxury tax, entertainment tax, entry tax, etc. So, what is the concept of GST? GST is a single value added tax on the supply of goods and services, right from the manufacturer to consumer. Credits of input taxes paid at each stage will be available in the subsequent stage of value addition, which makes GST essentially a tax only on value addition at each stage. The final consumer will thus bear only the GST charged by the last dealer in the supply chain, with set of benefits at all the previous stages. So, what is the features of GST? Number one, it is a value added tax. GST is a single value added tax on the supply of goods and services levied by Government of India. Under GST, tax is levied only on the value added at each stage in the supply chain from producer to ultimate consumer. For example, if a business house purchases the goods of rupees 1000 and sells it for rupees 1500 by adding rupees 500 to the initial cost consisting of say business overheads rupees 200 and profit of rupees 300, he will have to pay GST only on the value addition of rupees 500 and not on the total cost of rupees 1500. Then second feature, comprehensive. GST subsums all the prevailing indirect taxes Moreover, by bringing in a unified taxation system across the country, it ensures that there is no more arbitrations in tax rates. Third feature is multi-stage. GST is levied at each stage in the supply chain from manufacturer to the ultimate consumer, where the transaction takes place. GST offers comprehensive and continuous chain of tax credit from the producer's point or service provider's point up to the retailer's level or consumer's level, thereby taxing only the value added at each stage of supply chain. Fourth feature is credit of GST paid on purchases. The supplier at each stage is permitted to avail credit of GST paid on purchases of goods and or services and can set up this credit against the GST payable on supply of goods and services to made by him. Thus, only the final consumer bears the GST charged by the last supplier in the supply chain with set of benefits at all previous stages. Fifth feature is destination based consumption. GST is collected at the point of consumption. The tax authority with appropriate jurisdiction in the place where the goods or services are finally consumed will collect the tax. For example, let us say that the cotton garments are shipped from Gujarat to Maharashtra. Gujarat is producer state and Maharashtra is the consumer state. Tax revenue under GST shall be collected by GST authorities in Maharashtra. Then, sixth feature is no cascading effect. So, since only the value added at each stage is taxed under GST, there is no tax or cascading of tax, that is tax on tax, under GST system. GST does not differentiate between goods and services, and thus the two are taxed at single rate. That means goods and services are taxed at single rate. Then rates of GST. Currently there are 4 slabs of GST on the various categories of goods and services. They are 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. Registration under GST. Every supplier who makes a taxable supply of goods and or services liable to get himself registered in the state from where he supplies. Threshold limit, that is computed on all India basis. Special category states rupees 10 lakh, other states rupees 20 lakh. Online application for registration has to be made within 30 days. PAN based registration has to be done. Following persons have to obtain registration irrespective of their threshold limit. Number 1, persons making interstate taxable supply. Number 2, casual taxable persons. And number 3, non-resident taxable persons. So, registration under GST is mandatory. That means every supplier who makes taxable supply of goods or services liable to get himself registered in the state from where he supplies. So limit of transaction is generally special category state rupees 10 lakh and other state rupees 20 lakh. So then GST for sale within the state. In case the buyer and seller of goods or services are from the same state, transaction would be taxed simultaneously under central GST, that is CGST, and state GST, that is SGST. The central GST and state GST would be levied simultaneously on every transaction of supply of goods and services except the exempted goods and services. Further, both would be levied on the same price or value. While the location of the supplier and the recipient within the country is immaterial for the purpose of CGST. However, SGST would be chargeable only when the supplier and the recipient are both located within the state. So central GST, that means the tax collected by the central government, and state GST, that means tax which is collected by central government, that means tax imposed by central government, it is called as CGST, and tax imposed by state government, it is called as SGST. Then GST for interstate sale, that means sales between two states. Integrated goods and service tax, that means IGST, would be levied and collected by the center on interstate supply of goods and services. The GST on suppliers in the course of interstate trade or commerce shall be levied and collected by the government of India. Such tax shall be apportioned between the union and the states in the manner as may be provided by the law. So, we see in the above discussion that GST is the subsummed tax. So, taxes subsummed by GST. So, GST is a combination. GST merged all the indirect taxes. So, GST incorporates the following taxes earlier levied at the center and state level. GST has replaced or subsummed the following taxes. So, central level taxes, that is service tax, countervailing duty, special additional custom duty, central excise duty, additional excise duty. So, these all taxes subsummed by GST, which is collected by or levied by central government. Then state level taxes: entry tax and octroi, luxury tax, purchase tax, entertainment tax, sales tax, lottery, betting, gambling tax. So these are the tax which is collected by state government. These all taxes subsummed by GST. Okay, so taxes not to be subsummed by GST in India are: first, basic custom duty. That means basic custom duty. These tax not included in GST. That means not subsummed by GST. Export duty, toll tax, road and passenger tax, electricity duty, stamp duty, property tax. So these are the tax which is collected by respective authority Then most important note is here that alcoholic beverages for human consumption are proposed to be kept out of the purview of GST. So GST is not levied on alcoholic beverages which is used for human consumption, and then GST on petroleum products would be levied from the notified date to be recommended by the GST Council. So till petroleum product also not under the regime of GST.